No, we've had a lot of what they're calling moral victories. We were in a lot of games that we shouldn't have been, but boys, tell me, through 8 games, what are some positives that we can take away, either with coaching, front office, maybe players? Adam, start with you.
We'll start with the moral victories. You take all those moral victories and you shove them up your ass. Let's start there. How about that?
I hate you.
Moral victories. Are you serious, Kennedy?
That's what they're calling it.
They are stupid.
Oh.
Okay? Don't listen to stupid people. No to moral victories, okay? Let's start with positives. Outside of moral victories, allegedly. I think the only positives you can really take is that this team hasn't gotten blown out in every single game. That's a start. Hawkinson has emerged as a premier tight end. That's good. DeAndre Swift has emerged as a premier feature running back. Now, does he need to get better hitting the holes? Sure. But I think you got to give him the opportunity. I need to see 16, 18, 20 carries a few more times this year from DeAndre Swift in a given game. That way I can get a better understanding of how he translates in the future. But we know as a pass-catching back, he's one of the best. He's definitely top 6 in the NFL in terms of being a pass-catching back. So I think that's at least a positive you can take away there.
Yeah, in terms of positives on the offense, like Adam just said, individually you can. As a unit, no. You can't take anything from the offense. What I will say is DeAndre Swift, like Adam just alluded to, his ability to catch the ball in the backfield, it makes him a very, very valuable back. And I think if you use him correctly, which I think the Lions, have, he can be a great success for this team when they're winning games. So they've been doing a good job with DeAndre Swift. I think T.J. Hawkinson's still a top 5 tight end. So that's a positive. And then Penei Sewell over the last couple games has looked good. So that's really the positives.
We have an idiot in the chat. Antonio King. Adam and Corey said Goff was better than Cousins. I was proven right. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Last I checked, I had Goff last below Justin Fields.
Yeah.
In our quarterback rankings preseason in the NFC North.
Even though I argued Goff over Fields, I still had Kirk Cousins above.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is the second best quarterback in the division. It's not even a question. So I don't know where you got that from, but congratulations. Downsides, Anthony Lynn has been awful this year. Anthony Lynn has had 8 games to get the offense to at least somewhat function. Get creative. Throw to an offensive lineman in the red zone. Run a reverse. Do something outside of nothing. And that's what Anthony Lynn's offered all year. Nothing. And I know Jared Goff is god-awful. But here we go. Here we go. Anthony Lynn has offered you nothing. He's done an awful job. Fired from Los Angeles as a head coach. Comes to Detroit. Yes, I know Jared Goff is his quarterback. But if Mike LaFleur is able to get something out of Mike White and Josh Johnson, you got to get something out of Jared Goff. You just do. You can't tell me it's just this bad. And I understand he's missing the reads. Well, sit down with him. You're the coach.
And say, hey,
you're making these mistakes. Let's take a step back. Go ABC a little bit. Next week, this is our focus. I want you to take I want you to focus on your 3-step drops, and I want you to hit the underneath routes all game. That's what we're going to take. All right? We're not going to try anything fancy. Here's what I want you to do. I don't even know if that's happening. And if it is, the coach sucks, and so does the player for not understanding what the hell the coach is even saying. It's unbelievable. The offense is atrocious.
Oh, it's bad.
Now you want to backtrack. It's okay. I mean, you know what? Here, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to let Jeff talk, and I'm going to pull up the clip, and we're going to play it on the show because you're talking out of your ass. So I know who this guy is. First time in the chat I've ever seen him.
All right, listen, we'll talk about the coordinators. If you want to talk about positives, defensively, injuries for both sides of the ball. I mean, you're missing Romeo Okwara, Jeff Okudah's out, Iffy is out with the quad. Offensively, they've had a lot of injuries. Ragnow, obviously, and Taylor Decker's just returning. But you could take, if you know, you know. And Aaron Glenn has done a really good job with his defense. They kind of, I mean, other than the Eagles game, which I think, the Lions just didn't come to play entirely. But before then, the defense has been competitive. And I thought, you could see in Aaron Glenn there's something there. That's a guy who you want to hang on to and keep to run your defense. He's a great teacher. All the corners can't say enough good things about him and what he's been able to show him. Josh Jacobs, he's got A.J. Parker and Josh Jacobs playing out of their minds so far in the season. And that's great. But offensively, Anthony Lynn, we got to talk. We got to have a conversation. You got to really look yourself in the mirror and kind of just evaluate your performances so far into the season. 0-8. I get you don't have a lot of weapons, but let's talk about other offensive coordinators. Tim Kelly for the Texans. Davis Mills is his quarterback. Now, if you want to say Davis Mills is better than Jared Goff, go ahead. I don't know if that's true. They're probably comparable. If not, Jared Goff's better. And if I can remember correctly, the Houston Texans don't have a dynamic backfield like the Lions do, or one of a top 5 tight end in the league. And Davis Mills is still able to score points. And they're not winning games, but they look better on offense with Davis Mills. So it's honestly depressing, to say the least, to really look at this offense and see how bad they've underperformed. The only reason why they stayed alive in games like the Rams is their special teams unit and the job Phipps has been doing with them. I'm not going to sit here and say the offense has been that spectacular. Like I can't say that at all. If anything, I'd fire Anthony Lynn. You bring in a guy, sort of like an Aaron Glenn, a guy who's I think Aaron Glenn's, they hit it right on the home run with him. You got to find someone similar like that as an offensive coordinator. Not Anthony Lynn, not someone who's washed up. It's already been around the league. They fired Anthony Lynn, and you hired him. Like that's it's despicable. You bring in a guy. There's got to be somebody, offensive assistant, quarterback coach, somebody that can call plays better than Anthony Lynn, and I believe he's out there. And, it may be premature to fire him in the first year with a bad team, but I could care less. If you know, you know. And I know that Anthony Lynn's a damn bad coordinator. I mean, a bad coordinator. He looked good last year because of his Justin Herbert, who's arguably already a top 10 quarterback in the league. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So that's what I think.
Kennedy,
that's all the positives.
What positives are you taking away so far? 8 games in, they're 8-0. I need to hear it, please. Or negative. I mean, whatever you want to talk about.
I mean, obviously we have TJ Hawkinson. That's good. I'm interested to see how we do with Decker back. I know you're not going to like it, but they're going to put him back at left. So we'll see if that's helpful at all. Probably not, but we shall see. Positives, the rah-rah of Dan Campbell. It's at the beginning, I appreciated preseason. I definitely appreciated. He got me excited for the season, which was nice because we knew we weren't going to have a lot to be excited about, so it was nice. It's kind of like depleted now, but it was fun while it lasted. I mean, I'm just so bummed out after last week's game. It's really hard for me right now. Darius Slay had a touchdown against us, so that was a positive for me. But Lions positives, man, they are definitely far and few in between. Just because, like you said, there's injuries everywhere. It's hard to know what this team could have been this year. Would Okudah have gone off this year as a sophomore? We don't know, and that's just a bummer that we've had to deal with so many injuries. That would be my biggest negative. Is that if everyone was healthy, would we have more wins? I don't know. That's something we will never know. But we might be the first ever team to go 0-17. And you know what? That's impressive in its own way. That's what I have.
And the moral victory thing, like, although it's not valid, like I can't sit here and say there's a lot of moral victories because a loss is a loss. You're winless. You're a winless football team. It's actually depressing. But I will say this, there's problems that you can address, as Dan Campbell, he should, and Brad Holmes into the offseason. There's things you can fix. If you sit here and say, yeah, we might win one game this year, but next year we're going to go into the season and hopefully win more. Like, no, someone needs to take the fall. Somebody's going to have to take the fall, and that's just the reality of it. Me and Stick talked about it Monday. It's somebody's going to have to take the fall. In my opinion, it's Anthony Lynn. That's the only side of the football. You can talk about special teams. You can talk about defensively. You could talk about, is it Deuce Staley, running backs coach. You could talk about all the other coaches offensively. They look bad. And, yeah, you can pull listen, Jared Goff's to blame for the offensive struggles. I don't buy it. I mean, I listen, he's bad. But for as bad as the Lions have been offensively, it's hard to just put everything on Jared Goff. It is, because they have not been able to do anything. And I believe Aubrey Pleasant is the passing game coordinator. So there's a lot of self-reflection that needs to be done for the Detroit Lions, because there's not too many positives at them, like you were saying earlier. There really isn't.